I am Rachel. I believe that I was chosen since childhood, for I used to see vision and revelation when I was still a child. At the age of 6 in school I could not understand the lesson of our teacher. However, whenever I slept in the night, I attended the same lesson again in the spirit. This time around I was able to understand the explanation of the Lord. Back in school I had colleague and friend that were for the most part boys instead of girl. We were giving our school bag to one another to be kept at home to be brought the following day. One day a colleague gave me her bag that I was supposed to keep for him at home and bring back the following day, but strangely when I was sleeping in the night, I saw in a dream my friend asking me to give him back her school bag. I said to him, "It is night and people are sleeping, wait for the day when I come to school. You gave me your bag in the day, I will give you back your bag in the day." My friend was categorical and told me, "I want my bag now." I said, "You are not getting your bag in the night." He was aggravated and angry. Suddenly, I saw my friend turning to a dragon, and began to chase me. When running away from him, at a certain point I confronted him and I said, "In the name of Jesus Christ." As soon as I used the name of Jesus Christ, I saw a ball of fire coming out of my mouth and hitting my friend that had become a dragon, and he fell to the ground. I kept running away when I saw this dragon that was my friend coming after me again, and for the second time I confronted him in the name of Jesus Christ. As a result, ball of fire came out of my mouth and burned him. I saw fire burning this dragon that was my friend. In the morning I told my grandfather this dream. He took blessed water and poured it on me, telling me, "If your friend is a witch, he is not coming to get his notebook." And it happened precisely the way my grandfather said. As a result of this revelation, my friend never talked to me again for the all year. In truth, his identity was uncovered. I live my life in Angola, where I got married in the Catholic Church, until I joined an evangelical church, the City of Peace. Then I came to Europe, where I began to serve the Lord. A prophet told me, "You are a servant of God, and in the coming years the Lord will use you strongly. You see a lot of revelation but you don't like saying them." In 2016, when I encounter men of God in a convention, they told me that I had a call. They pray to activate the gift and capacity of God in me. As they pray, the Lord told them not to touch my head. As they continued to pray, my tongue became numb and light, and I began to speak strange language. Every time I wanted to pray I was speaking unknown language. I was washing in the bathroom when I fell because of the power of God over me, and I was speaking in tongue. My husband brought me out of the bathroom. I could not control my mouth, for I spoke incessantly. Whenever I went to drop the children to school I was speaking in tongue in the street and I could not stop. My children called my friend on the phone and told them, "Mum is speaking strange language and cannot stop." She rushed and joined us, for she knew I was speaking in tongue. This became repetitive. I was dropping the children to school when I was filled with the Spirit again. I could not move. My friend and husband joined us and took me home. One day after dropping the children I saw 3 men in white. There was great light. They told me, "We were looking for you." I asked them, "Who sent you?" They told me, "The one who sent us is in heaven." Immediately they held me and we began to rise in a tremendous speed like a rocket. When we arrived in space I saw the heaven opening. Quickly I saw that these men were not with me. I saw they were already preceding me in the sky and they called me to join them. When they were calling me, my instinct was to look down to the land, and when I tried to look down to the earth, I saw like a huge and dark pit. I asked these men, "What is this dark pit?" They told me, "You come from there. Your world is inside this black pit. The earth is there in this dark pit." When I saw that our world was inside a dark pit, I was scared and I cried. I saw a little light shining in this pit. These men told me, "This is the light that enables you to live in the land." I was in pain to see that our world is inside a black hole. These men led me to the third heaven, where I saw crystal river and trees alongside the river. I remember when I was returning to my body I saw that I was 2. I said, "Lord, how have I become 2? The Lord told me, "Rachel, when I look at you, my children, I see the condition of your spirit and your body. But when I look at my body I saw that the earring that I was wearing were bizarre, the wig on my body was dirty and sharp, and my clothes was not pure. The Lord want us to remain natural. The Lord dressed me with white robe and shoes. He put a veil on my head and instructed me to keep it, and told me, "Go tell what you have seen here." As I continue to walk with the Lord, in a vision the Lord showed me a woman seated on top of a tall mountain. She had long hair descending to the foot of the mountain, where I saw servants that were cutting them, and I saw that the woman that was seated on top of the mountain was giving her back to servant that were cutting her hair. I could not see the face of this woman for she was looking the other way. I was stunned to see her long hair descending to the foot where I saw people cutting them. I noticed that whenever people were cutting her hair it was growing up instantly. As these servants cut their hair it was falling inside a huge pit at the foot of the mountain. I was curious and wanted to know what was inside that hole. The Lord said, "Rachel, I want you to go check what is happening inside that hole where these hair is falling." When I looked inside this cave where these hair were falling I saw people in chains and they were captive and slave. They were working on the hair of this female demon. Captives and slave of the marine kingdom were working on the hair of the queen of the sea. These hair of sea goddess were to be sold in the surface world as wig. The Lord told me, "Rachel, you will never wear these wig, and tell my servant to never wear wigs." I saw these captives working and placing mark and symbols on these hair. That was supposed to be out in circulation all over the world. People in my neighborhood know that I was putting wig, and a lot of them, in order to feel that I am the woman, and despite the vision, I was tempted to put wig again. Then I saw another woman on the top of the mountain. She had long nails, and people were cutting her nail which kept growing up. The Lord said, "Rachel, you are not putting these nails, for I don't want my servant to put them. I am jealous for you and all my servant. You will do only what I want you to do." Back then I was also putting artificial nail. Despite the Lord's instruction I could not abandon. I said in my heart, I will only put short nails because the Lord does not like long ones. When I disobey the Lord putting these artificial nails, I suffered terribly. When I wanted to remove these nails I lost my natural nails. I suffer a lot of pain. It was unbearable. Disobedience lead to pain. In a vision, the Lord took me in a bush and told me, "Rachel, your time has come. Now your mission has begun in churches." When I was moving in this vision with the Lord, I saw that the Lord was changing shape. The Lord was a great light and he was also taking the shape of an eagle. I could not watch him because of the light. He told me, "You're going to inform my people that I am crying for my church is destroyed. You will know the mission I am sending you to do." Then the Lord pulled out the image of a church and told me, "You are entering in this church, and you will observe everything. You will see something that is important for me." As soon as I got in that church, I noticed that their lampstand was shining. When I went out I said, "Lord, their lamp is shining." The Lord said, "Now get back inside and see." When I got back inside this local church I saw that there was a strong wind that was hitting this church and one of the walls was fallen. To my surprise their lamps continued to shine despite this violent wind. When I joined the Lord he told me, "Despite the wind and the pressure you will tell my church to maintain their light on. In no occasion they should let their lamp go off. I must find their lamp shining when I come to visit them." The Lord said, "Many lamps are turned off in many churches, giving place to darkness. Tell them to light up their lamp through intense prayer, worship and faith." Then we went out and we got in another church. As soon as we enter, the Lord screamed in pain and said, "I am not here." This church had no door and the ceiling had holes. The Lord said, "This is how my church has become. There was no door and no window." The Lord said, "I will bring you back here to explain to you the meaning of the absence of the door and window. Rachel, serve me in truth." Later, I saw the pastor of this church coming out with a woman who had no head, and blood was gushing, and the pastor was washing his hand with her blood. The Lord said, "This is what I mean when I show you the church lacking ceiling and door. These pastors are using human blood. They are not serving me." I cried when I heard that the pastor was in human sacrifice. Then the Lord took me to another church. When we enter I saw the pastor preaching. When I look I saw that his upper part was human but his lower part was snake. He was a merman. Jesus said, "This is apocalypse, the end of time." Then we went out of there quickly. Then we got to another church. There was no light. There was nobody in the spirit, but in the physical there was a church with people. I said, "Lord, what is the meaning of this? In the physical this is a church but in the spirit there is nothing." The Lord said, I will bring you back to explain to you all this. When we enter another church, I saw that the pastor was not shining. The Lord said, his problem is that he has to intensify prayer and worship, in order to ignite the light, for his light is low. He is not a bad servant, but his light is low. Intense prayer and worship is enough to cause him to shine. The Lord said, look how they are pulling away his sheep. I saw people leaving his church and he was unable to stop this because of lack of dedication in prayer. The Lord said, how can my light shine if there is no prayer and worship? The devil stopped prayer in his life. I felt pain in this place. The Lord took me to another church where I saw the pastor in underwear. There were 5 women around him who knew the kind of life he was leading and they made sure to keep these secret. I saw them entering a secret room where they were doing a ritual. The Lord said, this is what my church has become. Rachel, you will serve me in truth. The Lord said, the task I am entrusting you is a great responsibility, but I always choose people from the ground and raise them to the top. When the Lord took me to another church, there was a massive crowds and the church was full. I noticed that there was a lamp. Quickly I saw that the leaders in front were dressed in dirty robe, but the people were dressed with white garment. I saw the preacher in front preaching the church, but he was in dirty clothes. The Lord said, they are mixing my work with impurity and worldly life. Members of this church are better than their leaders. When you will be serving me, Rachel, serve me in truth and purity. Many members are better than their leaders who are far from me. I saw members of this church on long way as if they were traveling. I asked the Lord, where are they going? The Lord said, I will show you the destination of their journey. These crowds were carrying load on their head and were moving. The Lord said, we must go before them in order to find out where they are going. When we had reached the end of this road where these people were heading, I saw a gate that was guarded by soldiers, that were dressed like ancient Roman warrior, and they were holding swords. The Lord said, this is their destination. Observe carefully when the door will be opened. I said, what is it inside? You will see by yourself, say the Lord. When the members of this church had reached the gate, I saw these guards opening the gate, and I saw huge flames of fire, and I cried. The Lord said, a leader must always be in front of the people he is leading, not behind the people he is leading. He is the one who is the eyes, and can see the road where he is leading the people, for the crowds does not have eyes. He is the one leading them to heaven. I saw this crowds entering the place of tremendous fire. It was incredible. The Lord said, there is no way back, it's too late. When everybody has fallen in the pit of fire, the pastor who was the last one instead of the first wanted to run, but demons held him and he could not escape. He looked towards the fire. He said, is this the reward of the sacrifices that I had endured? There was regret and disappointment in his face. The Lord said, when you are a leader leading the sheep, you must be vigilant and prudent. When the leader is lost, all the sheepfold will be lost. Brother, we must pray for men of God, for they are human like us. They preach us the word, therefore we must pray for them. The Lord said, I am on the way and I am coming back. The Lord showed me a man of God. He asked me, do you know him? I gave him to lead my church, but he did not do things my way, and he is here in the place of torment awaiting the judgment. When I heard this, I cried. The Lord said, Rachel, when you will serve me, do it in truth. Brother, we got to learn to confess all the time because of our imperfection. Then the Lord showed me another leader that was in the abode of the dead. The Lord said, he is alive on the earth, but because of his conduct he is already here in the abode of the dead.